Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get started this meeting. You are hereby summoned to attend the annual meeting of Hemsworth Town Council to be held in the main hall, Hemsworth Town Council Community Centre, Shaw Road, Hemsworth, commencing at 7 p.m. on Thursday, 29th of May 2025, for the purpose of transacting the following business. Item number 1, election of chair. To elect a chairman of the council for the ensuing year. Councillor Moore?
Can I propose Councillor Sid Middleton?
I second that.
Can I propose Councillor Ian McGuinness?
I'll second that.
Okay, so let's just take vote off here. Yeah. So all for Councillor McGuinness? All for Councillor Shaw Middleton? So it's a tie, so a casting vote goes to the chair.
I thought it was to Vice Chair.
No,
Just the chair.
Chairman.
We've had precedent on this with a few years ago.
No, Vice President,
Anyway,
Chair.
it's I'll vote for myself. So, moving on, item 2, to receive the chairman's declaration of acceptance. Item number 3, apologies for absence. To receive apologies for absence and to consider and approve the reasons for absence.
No.
Where's Councillor Alright?
It's up to council to do absence. Item number 4, declarations of interest and dispensation requests. Council should disclose pecuniary or non-pecuniary interest in any items on this agenda.
Yeah, where's Councillor Alright then?
Item 5, election of vice chairman.
Oh,
We've moved on past that. Item 5, election of vice chairman. To elect a vice chairman for the council for the ensuing year. I propose Councillor Rushmore.
I'll second that.
Anybody else?
I propose Councillor Ferner.
I'll second that.
Okay, so those for Councillor Fernie?
7.
And those for Councillor Rushmore? So as a casting vote, I will vote again for Councillor Rushmore. Item 6, to receive the Vice Chairman's declaration of acceptance of office. The Vice Chairman to sign her declaration of acceptance for the office for the ensuing year. The next item, I've actually got a pecuniary interest, so I will not be partaking in this part of the vote. He'll be handed over to the Vice Chair.
Shouldn't that have been declared in part 1?
It can be declared at any time within the process, as long as it's declared.
Chairman's allowance. To determine the amount of the chairman's allowance in pursuant of Section 15, Local Government Act 1972. Could I propose no chairman's allowance for the year 2025?
I'll second that.
It's budgeted for the chair to get £2,000, so I propose that.
Does anyone want to second Councillor McGuinness?
I'll second Councillor McGuinness.
All in favour of a 0% chairman's allowance? All in favour of a £2,000 chairman's allowance? The 2,000 passed, so Councillor Middleton, do you wish to accept £2,000 chairman's allowance?
I will not be accepting a £2,000 chairman's allowance again this year.
Thank you. Back to the chair.
Can I have a point of order, please? Item 8, committee structure. Consider the committee structure and terms of reference for each committee, and B, to appoint members to each committee and to appoint the chairman of each committee. We do have to say chairman, ladies and gentlemen, that's the legal requirement. We're not allowed to chairperson. So the council received the proposal, right? Yeah.
I've put in a proposal to return to 2 full council meetings per month and abolish the committees. The reason for that is when I first started on council, there was approximately...
Can you use your mic?
Sorry.
I can't hear you at the back.
Can you...
I don't know whether it's on me and I don't know.
Can you hear me now? Right. When I first started on council, we had approximately 14 out of 15 councillors on each committee. That meant that the vast majority of the councillors could access all documents, including exclusion times. At the moment, we have 7 councillors on each committee. Now, for that to be quorate, there has to be at least 4 councillors, which means that depending on the terms of reference for each of those committees, 4 councillors can actually pass resolutions before it comes back to council. Whereas if we had full council meetings, every single councillor that turned up that night would have full access. I've been excluded, as well as other councillors have been excluded from some of the meetings during exclusion, which meant that when it came to a vote, I couldn't vote. I had to abstain on those minutes when they came back to full council, which was my choice, I know that. But because I wasn't party to what was in exclusion, I couldn't pass those minutes. So I'm proposing that we go back to 2 council meetings.
I would propose myself that... Oh, go ahead, one, Carol.
I did speak to Andrew about this. All your committees at minute, you've got no members from Kingsley and Fitzwilliam on your leisure and rec. Correct?
I don't know.
That's incorrect.
Yeah.
To be clear, Jerry, I can't advise on that.
That is actually
I
incorrect.
think it needs to be, your committees need to be fair numbered between...
So the clerk's proposal was 9 people. Advice, sorry, the clerk's advice was 9 councillors to increase that number. I would propose that we have the council meetings as per the agenda that's sent out, with the exception of the first council meeting, which would be moved.
That's the next item, Chair.
Okay, sorry.
Schedule
Oh, sorry, I'm jumping ahead here. So committee structure, again, I would personally propose that we keep the, we stop the policy and planning because it was difficult to actually fill it, and we keep the rec and leisure, and the finance and the full council as the structure. This is structure that's done throughout the country. District councils all have committees, and it's the way to do things. Additionally, it is also one of the recommendations that we sit out of the air guide about the finance committee, so we can read out the budgets
I appreciate that, but your finance and it's on your schedules of meetings. One finance meeting a quarter is not enough. It needs to be at least once a month. We had this argument last time. We said we could fetch it back to do it.
I think I tend to agree with
Yeah.
you. Finance, I think, needs to be one a month. I don't. I think a quarter's too low.
Yeah.
Can that run in conjunction with one of the council meetings then?
Yeah, makes sense.
They've done that in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've actually
Okay, I can accept the finance
I think so.
to increase and be on the same day as the full council meeting. And then we're not increasing
So have it before full council, Carol.
before that.
Is that what you think?
Yeah,
Before
well,
that,
what's
then,
up,
doesn't matter.
Sandra? It's on council, isn't it?
We're coming anyway, aren't
Yeah,
we?
yeah.
The 7th.
I believe correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe we had the finance 6:30 before the full council meeting at 7.
Possibly. Yeah. We
No,
can look at it.
finance come after the meeting.
no,
Did
they've
it?
always started at 7,
Yeah.
and it's either been before and then
So,
then
after.
the
And then the other one.
So,
I stand corrected there, sorry.
At present, we're doing a meeting. and we do
So-
finance
so-
at
so-
7,
A proposal that I'll put to councils first is then, so we have the council meeting and the finance meetings on the same day. But additionally, as seen as now, a lot of the rec and leisure was based around the lakeside. We don't have the lakeside now as such. I know we do the lakeside, but we don't run it day to day. So how about we just have the council and the finance meeting on the same day as per the schedules that we're going to discuss later.
I go with that.
So I'll propose we have a finance committee and a full
Yeah,
council.
full council.
Have I got a seconder for that?
No, second it.
All for?
I'm at that 12.
Yeah.
11, 12, yeah. 12, yeah. 12.
And those against? Abstentions? Okay, so that's that item. So
Oh, sorry, Chair, actually, just in terms of reference to the Finance Committee, it's to meet monthly, but how many members and what is the quorum?
So I think it was 9 members for the. I'm going to propose 9 members. So obviously these to vote.
So that's up from 7.
That's up. Yeah. Yeah. So all for 9. I'll propose 9. Have we got a seconder?
Yeah.
All for?
Oh, and quorum 3.
Quorum 3. Any objections? Councillor Conway?
I'm against it. No matter what clause you have, nothing comes back to full council. They don't get to know anything. The decision's been made there about 3 people, and we get to know about 3 months later. Same with the sale at Lakeside and that.
So moving on, item 9,
Item 8B.
item 8B, to appoint members to each committee and to appoint a chairman of each committee. So there's only one, so we'll do the chairman first. I'll propose Councillor Rushmere as the chair of the finance committee. Have we got a seconder?
Don't we have to have members of the committee first to speak for?
No, council.
It might practically be better to do them either or, really.
Okay, so let's have, yes, because obviously Councillor Rushmere may not be on the finance committee. So, members of the finance committee, anybody going to propose people?
Are we keeping the same ones and adding on?
Well,
Yep.
cool.
Who's actually on the finance committee now? Right. So,
Are we
1, 2, 3,
keeping?
4, 5,
Councillors Hardy,
6.
yourself, Councillor Whitehead, Bates, and Bernie.
Okay, so I propose we add Councillor V Middleton onto that panel. Have we got a seconder?
I'll second that.
For Councillor V Middleton to go on that council? On that.
Can I nominate Ian to be put on that one?
I mean, if you can agree 2 members and just vote on that, Chair, that could be.
Okay, yeah, we're going to 2 members. So Councillor Vicky Middleton and Councillor Ian McGuinness. Is everybody?
I'll second him, Carol.
You can't because you're.
I'll second it. I'll second
So just to make it clear, we're voting for Councillor Ian McGuinness and Councillor Vicky Middleton to go onto the Finance Committee and the pre-existing members to stop on it. So that's my proposal. Have we got a seconder?
I'll second it.
All for? Against? And abstentions? So next item is to propose a chair for the Finance Committee. I would like to propose Councillor Rushmere.
Can I come back on that? We haven't done the Rec and Leisure.
We're not having a Rec and Leisure. We didn't vote for that.
So that's been taken off the table.
That's been taken off the table.
Right.
We voted for
It's
just.
in the schedule.
We voted just for finance and full council, obviously.
Right. Okay.
So I would propose Councillor Rushmere for chair of finance. Do I have a seconder?
I'll second it.
All for? You can now, yeah.
8.
Those against? And abstentions? So item 10, standing panels. To appoint members to serve on the standing grievance disciplinaries panels, and B, to appoint members to serve on the standing complaint panel.
What I'm going to recommend here, Chair, is that the Council appoints 3 regular members, 3 reserve members, and then 3 members should any matter go to appeal. So it's clear which councils will sit on any panel. No, nobody has to.
So does anybody, so start with the members on the grievance disciplinaries panel. Does any councillors want to?
Can I just ask, what do you mean by regular councillors?
So just to explain, I'll put me on mic here. So that would be, yep. So it would be 3 primary councillors. Basically, if there's an item, so this is a grievance or disciplinary matter, there's 3 councillors who we would go to in the first instance to sit on the panel. If any of those councillors can't, for whatever reason, if they're not available, you go to the reserve members.
Cool. Can I propose 1 member from each ward? Yeah. So I don't know who's in each ward, so if we say everyone from Fitzroy ward that wants to be on a panel, put your hand up, then we'll pick someone out of that. Then anyone on West Ward, do that, and then each ward. And then the reserve, and then after. Okay. So,
we'll start with Fitzwilliam and Kinsley for the so no, the same ward now, Fitzwilliam and Kinsley. So the first one to appoint members to serve on the standing panel is anybody from the Fitzwilliam and Kinsley ward would like to put their name forward. So would you like to propose somebody from that ward?
Yeah, that's gone. I'm broke, please.
Okay, yes, I'll show you.
Can I propose Councillor Hardacre?
Okay. I shall second Councillor Hardacre.
I propose Councillor Whitehead, please.
We've got a second for Councillor Whitehead.
I'll second it.
So all for Councillor Hardacre.
You can vote for them.
All for Councillor Whitehead. So then the chair has a standing vote, so I'll go for Councillor Hardacre. Now for the reserve, again I've got somebody from Fitzwilliam Kinsley who would like to propose for the first reserve.
I propose Councillor Whitehead.
I'll second.
Nobody else? So Councillor Whitehead is the only.
And then
And somebody from Fitzroy Kingsley for the appeal panel. Would you like somebody would like to propose? I'll volunteer.
Propose Councillor Fernie.
I'll second.
Okay, so is any other person for Councillor Fernie? Propose it? No, propose. Right, the same process for West and South Ward. So, anybody want to propose volunteer for the standing panel, the original panel?
Doesn't have to be a chair or vice chair, there's no.
Oh, it's what, sorry.
Mickey Ken, Gary, no, Mickey Ken. No.
Ian.
Ian.
Addy.
And Adia.
Can I put Councillor McGuinness?
I'll second.
Can I propose Councillor Vicky Middleton?
You want to go on it? Okay, so all for Councillor McGuinness. And all for Councillor Vicky Middleton. Okay.
6.
6. And any abstentions?
Can I vote myself?
Yeah.
I'll vote myself
Sorry, was
as
that-
well.
Yeah, you don't have to order telling her to vote.
No, I was asked a question. She says,
I
can I vote for
said-
myself? And I
No,
said,
you
yes, you
told
can.
her to vote before she asked the question.
Sorry. Yeah.
You prompted her.
So I get the casting vote, I will vote for Councillor Vicky Middleton. So now it is the East Ward Council. West Ward Reserve, sorry. So does anybody from West Ward like to put themselves up?
Councillor McGuinness.
I'll second Councillor McGuinness.
Are we no opposition to Councillor McGuinness being on? No, so it's Councillor McGuinness.
Can you run through those names again for me, please?
For the West Ward?
No. We've finished that.
We're not finished yet, no.
Oh, sorry, right. Yeah.
So East Ward standing panel and
Appeal.
appeal panel. Have we got someone from East Ward who want to be on the appeal panel? So that's West Ward.
Gary. I'll propose Gary.
I'll second Gary. With any objection against Gary?
Is this West Ward?
Yeah.
No,
Can I nominate Paul?
it's the appeal for
Okay.
the West and South Ward.
Okay, so West and South Ward councillors, anybody want to be on the appeal panel?
There's only Kev. Kev, do you want to be on a panel?
No.
No? Does anyone volunteer as tribute to be on a panel?
We've done that, yeah.
You've just done us.
I've done it all.
Yeah, you're on.
I've got
You're on.
East Ward now.
Councillor Middleton is the standard. Councillor McGuinness is the reserve. I haven't got an appeal councillor for West and South Ward.
Do you want to go down?
So, sorry?
Well, then I'll stand for appeal.
So we've got,
You can't, you're not in their ward.
Yes.
He is
Yes,
West
it's
Ward.
West Ward. So I'll second Councillor Oganado. Has anybody got a seconder for Councillor Conway?
I'll second that.
So those who would like Councillor Conway. And those for Councillor Oganado.
7.
And to appoint members to each committee and to appoint them to panel.
West Ward, East Ward.
Now we're on East Ward. So East Ward for the standing panel, I will put myself forward. I'll volunteer if there's anybody else. East Ward.
I'll put myself forward.
I'll second Paul.
Yep. Okay, so
I'll second Sid. Well,
no.
do you want to do it?
No.
Well, you're at work. So
I agree.
Yeah, no.
Gary. I'll propose Gary. What you on
Why?
No.
Oh, sorry.
I
Right.
really want to.
So is anybody going against Councillor Paul Stevens?
No.
No, so that's Councillor Stevens. So for
I'm
the
getting mixed up.
Yeah. appeal panel, reserve, sorry.
I'll do a reserve if I have to.
Okay. So have you got any objections to Councillor Rushmere being on the reserve? No. And then for the final position, appeal, I will put myself forward for that one if nobody else wants it.
Do you want it, Gary?
Has Gary want it?
You don't want
No.
it? No.
Okay, I'll be on the backup.
Could we just run through those, please?
So
I'd appreciate it.
Yeah. I think everybody will, to be honest.
So the three primary members, if you will, of the grievance and disciplinaries panel would be Councillor Hardacre, Councillor Vicky Middleton and Councillor Paul Stevens. The three reserves would be Councillors Whitehead, McGuinness and Rushmer, and the appeal panel would be Councillors Fernie, Ogunade and Councillor Sean Middleton. Can I suggest that the standing complaints panel is the same as the other two, please?
Is everybody, so the next item is the standing, councillors listening? So the standing complaints panel, could we suggest that it's the same people? Everybody happy with that? Same structure? Yes? I'll propose it's the same people, I've got a seconder.
Yeah.
All for it being the same people as previous. That's carried. Item 12, asset register. To review and adopt the council's asset register.
11.
Sorry, 11 financial regulations, you're correct. Financial regulations, standing orders and code of conduct. To review and adopt the council's financial regulations, standing orders and the code of conduct. Councillor Whitehead?
Financial regulations, we have had them, there's a lot of changes. And with finance committees and that, and we're hoping to change things. Can we defer that until we have a first meeting?
I think that the safer option, Chair, would be to approve it and then bring it back for review. So at least then there's
one in place.
A set of financial regulations in place, which can always be reviewed at any point through the year.
So, Councillor McGuinness.
Can I ask if all councillors have read the financial regulations?
It is not up to a council to ask all of the councils if they read financial regulations.
There happens to be 16 pages in the financial regulations, standing orders 27 pages, and code of conduct 17 pages.
It is not up to councillors to question whether councillors have read the information.
But councillors eventually will be voting on those, and if
it
they
is
haven't
not
read
up
them,
to councillors to ask other councillors if they have read the information. When the clerk sends out the information, it is accepted that councillors read it and take responsibility. If they want to vote blindly, then that is a councillor's.
Can I give an example?
Just Councillor Conway, just put his hand up.
I've stated many times I can't read what he says, it's too small. And that's what I print. Every meeting that's what I print. You still haven't got them. So I haven't read them.
In the clerk's defence, I've seen large print. There has always been large print on that table.
On this occasion, no, sorry.
On this occasion,
yeah,
council, the clerk has admitted that. We will look to get yours large print.
Can I give
again, as I will, sorry, but as said before, if you do have trouble, then there is adaptations that if we could look at as well as large print, if that's what you require.
I ask every meeting, I ask.
I'm saying there's adaptations we can buy, the council can provide for you to make it easier. Councillor McGuinness?
Can I give an example? In the Rec and Leisure meeting in March, one of the items was to pass the minutes for February's meeting for Rec and Leisure. I stopped the vote because I said that I hadn't received February's minutes because an honest mistake was made and November's minutes were sent. But a vote was called for straight away without even any discussion regarding February's minutes, which suggested to me that not all councillors had even read the agenda, never mind the minutes.
So councillor Corner read it assuming it wasn't the correct minutes?
I spoke to the clerk regarding that, which I'm hoping he'll confirm. And I said I just suspect that an awful lot of councillors don't even read the paperwork.
It is not up to a councillor to tell the question of the councillors. I know that's not the answer you want, but it is not up to you to police other councillors. That's the councillor's own ethics that do that. And I'm not agreeing or disagreeing with you. I'm just saying it's not up to a councillor to pull up other councillors regarding what they haven't read.
I'm not pulling councillors up. I'm just asking if councillors have read them. That's all.
So the proposal is to adopt these regulations as they are. So we've actually got some regulations, and then if Councillor White would like to bring it to the next any updates or reviews to the next finance meeting. So can I propose, well, I've just said, have I got a seconder for that?
I'll second.
All for? All against?
Come back to that. Sorry, what was it all against? Sorry,
Against?
that chair, sorry. Just the one, was it?
Yeah. Okay, we need to go back to that bit.
Excuse me, can we actually have it minuted that two councillors
It
have
is-
actually...
It has been minuted.
It has been minuted,
It has been minuted, yeah.
It has been minuted.
When councillors just leave like that, there's minute, they are supposed to excuse themselves, not just get up and walk out, but it has been minuted that they have left.
Councillor Bates did say they had a phone call.
It should
But
say
it should, yeah, I agree.
that they've just got.
Item 9.
So, ladies and gentlemen, with all the confusion regarding councils, committees, we missed out the schedule of meetings, so I propose a schedule of meetings. The town council that is currently for the 5th, we will not have enough time to get that, so I propose that's put to the week after, which is the 12th. And move the finance meetings to the same days as the town council meetings. Yeah. Sorry, move the finance meetings to the council meetings, yeah. So that's what I would propose. Have I got a seconder for that? All for? And against? Venues for that, the meetings, I would propose that up here at the offices that we already, this room up here. Have I got a seconder for that?
Seconded.
All for? Against? Abstentions? Item 12, asset register. To review and adopt the council's asset register. So again, this has been sent out.
I've got my own hand, so so members have seen the asset register as it stands currently. However, the council did appoint a working group which has met through the year but hasn't met to review the asset register as the final figure, basically, to go on the AGAR. So the council may want to consider whether it wants to take the asset register as it currently is, or if it wants to wait until that group has met. Obviously, that will have to be before the deadline for submission of the AGAR. It is up to council either way.
Councillor.
As Chair of Finance, this last meeting were in January, it was just me and you, Paul.
Yeah.
We did ask for another meeting and to look round the assets. There were a lot of things that needed to come off. The asset register, what you sent us out, is not the asset register that we presented. You've still got Cemetery Lane on there.
It is still.
It wasn't on last year, we took it off.
It shouldn't have been taken off last year.
Cemetery
Road football.
Yeah.
So at the minute, until very recently, it was still classed as the town council.
No, we took off last
on
year.
the land register. Is that correct?
We took off last
On
year.
the land register, yeah.
Okay.
It's in the process of being.
Yeah.
There's a lot. I said defer it because there's a lot.
But the asset register will need to meet before.
The asset register, the working group will need to meet in the next week or so.
The next week, so can those of the asset group
before the next meeting?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll defer it for the asset register group to meet. Again, so this clarifying myself, so the asset register group, to I can understand, they shouldn't be walking around looking at asset registers, they should be reviewing the register that's provided by the council. Is that correct?
If that was done, Chair, it would need to be done in accordance with the standing orders, which do make comment about councillors viewing people work, so there may be a workaround of that.
Okay, that's fine. Anyway, that's been deferred.
Can you set date up and send it out to all us?
Of course, yeah.
Item 13, representatives on outside bodies. To appoint 2 voting representatives to the Yorkshire Local Councils Association. Have we got any volunteers?
I'll love that.
Councillor Paul and Councillor Rushman again. Have we got any objections?
It's usually the chair and vice chair that would vote on that.
So it is usually the chair and vice chair. There's no reason why it would need to be, but it's
not
usually
before. Yeah. Well, we've got Councillor Rushman and Councillor Stevens, so I'll propose those 2. Have we got any objections? Or
I'll second.
no objections? All 4.
Yep.
And then against? Abstentions? Item 14. Legal advisor solicitors. To appoint legal advisor solicitors for the council in respect of general legal matters and human resources.
I would recommend, Chair, that the council continues to use Ramsden solicitors for general legal matters, but I would recommend that the council does look at alternatives on a case-by-case basis for any larger project. That would be my recommendation.
And human resources stop us there.
Human resources, I would say, with the Yorkshire Employees Association. Yeah.
So, to stick with Ramsden's just for general, but it will be done on a case-by-case basis regarding any other items that may arise, and to continue as is with the human resources. So I propose that. Have I got a second then?
Seconded.
All 4? Against? No abstentions. 15 Town Council meetings. To approve the respective meetings of the council meeting held on the 3rd of April 2025 and the extraordinary meeting held on the 8th of May 2025 as detailed in the minute book. So I've got a mover.
Can I just, I have spoke to Andrew about an issue on that, on December 1 and January, because you resolved to shut the cat bar on the 31st of the 12th, 24. But then
sorry to interrupt. Was this?
This is in not what you sent us out for
So
December.
yeah, was this the leisure and rec?
Yeah.
That's the next item.
I thought you were on that one.
No, so to approve the minutes on the 3rd of April and May 8th. So I've got a
Can I propose to move the
Sorry,
minutes?
I have not received them again.
You didn't receive them in large print, you didn't receive them on the email.
So I can't delete them.
No, fine, Councillor, where's yours?
I can't read it, can I?
So I'll second Councillor Rushmore, all 4. Against? 2 abstentions.
Okay, yeah.
So item 16, committee and subcommittee meetings. To adopt the meetings of committees and their respective subcommittees as follows. Leisure and Rec on the 19th of December, the 24th, 20th of February 25 and 20th of March 25. Finance, 23rd of January 25 and the 17th of April 25. And Policy, Planning and Staffing, 17th of April 2025. So this is where...
Yeah. So in Leisure and Rec in December, you resolved to shut the Lakeside Bar on the 31st of the 12th, 24. January, yeah, you resolved to shut it on the 19th. You contradicted, I spoke to you, Andrew, and I explained it to you. You did give me an explanation and I'm happy with that, but the other councillors need to know, that's all I'm asking.
The minutes are still correct.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm happy to discuss that by all means, Chair, but it doesn't change the minutes. This item is to
approve the minutes.
Yeah. also most of these will have been approved by the respective committees as well. It's just to adopt them.
Okay.
But none of these have come back to full council.
No.
That's
where we are now.
That's where we are now.
We're approving the minutes.
But you've already done the work, what you've stated here, i.e. jumping pillars, look for repairs. That's in March, but you haven't repaired and you've bought new ones. Shouldn't that have come to council?
I can't remember what that particular item, but yeah, no, the Leisure and Rec Committee does have or did have the delegated authority to approve, to make decisions based on the leisure and recreation function of the council, really, including expenditure within financial regulations, of course.
So regarding the committee, the council is only saying that we're adopting the minutes and basically that's all we're doing. So I'll approve that we adopt the minutes. So I've got a seconder.
Can I just bring the point up, the one that I mentioned earlier on? Rec and Leisure, 20th of March, item 56, minutes. Resolved that the minutes for the meeting held on the 20th of February be approved. We've never seen the minutes in that meeting for February. So how can we approve them? How can that be a true statement? We've never seen the minutes for the 20th of February. The November's minutes were sent, not the 20th of February's were sent. So it states on here that they've been approved. That's incorrect.
What was, regardless of whether the minutes have been seen, were they approved in that meeting, or
if we haven't seen them, how can we approve them?
I believe
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
But they can. It's not proper. It's not good practice. But were they? The question is whether they're approved.
I've got to go against that. How can you approve something that you haven't seen?
This is not. This is the item agenda. This item agenda is not approving. It's just to adopt those minutes.
But it states in clerical error, I'm presuming.
Can I recommend, Chair, that the council adopt all minutes apart from the one in question, and that I look into this and speak to the councillors who brought it up for a bit more information.
Okay, so
just ask which set of minutes was that?
It would be the Rec and Leisure meeting on the 20th of March. It states on item 56 that we've resolved that the minutes of the meeting be passed for the 20th of February.
With the exception of the meeting Rec and Leisure on the 20th of March 2025, I propose that we move all those moving on the agenda item. Have we got a seconder? All for? Against? Abstentions? Item 17, banking/investment signatories. To approve the signatories for Barclays Bank and the CCLA deposit property funds.
Chair, this is the signatories for as it says, signatories for Barclays Bank and for the CCLA deposit and property fund investment fund. I'd recommend that they are the same.
Councillor Guinness.
Am I correct in saying that there are only 5 councillors on that list at the moment?
That sounds about right. I can't remember exactly, but that sounds about right, yeah.
So we're looking for other volunteers to...
If I would recommend, Chair, that all councillors be approved, and that volunteers just come to me or members of staff and then to add as and when. But I would recommend that all councillors be approved.
Okay, so we approve all councillors, and then those who haven't got who want to, will go to see the clerk to get their appropriate paperwork completed. So, have we got a second of that?
Yeah.
Motion? Yeah. All for? So against? So that's the last council thing, so it's public question time. Just before we start, so can I just I'll just make a few words. So obviously this has been a long, difficult year this year, and I do believe we have actually made some ground, a lot of difficulties. Again, I will offer an olive branch out. I want the council to work together. I will again offer out an olive branch, no conditions, about working together as a council as a unit for the benefit of the full parish. If councils like to do that, then we're all over for it. So, ladies and gentlemen, public question time.
I have put it in an email to both the chair and the clerk today, because it's just come to light that the summer discount that we used to get on Sandygate is no longer there. So in the email I've asked if you could tell me when.
Yeah, I've not seen the email. I've been straight from work, so
It's basically just asking when it was removed, who agreed it, in what meeting, and when were we informed about it? Because I would have picked this up on an invoice had I have had one, but I've not had one since December.
I can't really answer it, Chair. It's best
we'll respond by email to your request. As I've not seen it yet. I've just rolled in from work.
Thank you.
Any Maxine?
Can I go back to financial regulations, standing orders and code of conduct?
Yeah.
There's an allegation on Facebook that the £200,000 what was transferred by the clerk and not councillors. Does that not go against your code of financial regulations?
I think we all know the answer to that. It has been discussed.
Can I ask why lies are being spread around Facebook by councillors?
It's social media. It's the bane of our lives, everybody's lives.
This is something that is currently being addressed, and we have been addressing behind the scenes for the past.
I just wanted people to know that it just needed to come out to public, because that's been seen by the public. That's why I've brought it up.
No, we really appreciate it. Any other questions? Yeah, Kathy? I'm quite Calvin. Sorry.
Can I ask what the situation is with the finances, since we're no longer having to provide funds to the lakeside? Has the expenditure gone down a lot, and are we now bringing in revenue?
It appears so, but it's too early to give figures, because we're only in 3 months or so into. But yeah, expenditure does appear to be going down, and income does appear to be remaining steady, consistent with the time of the year.
So I think the thing that is that with the smaller facility, we are bringing roughly about the same sort of money. I'm not going to say, not promising to say.
So can I just mention, like, obviously we don't expect the new cafe to bring in the same money as the lakeside did during the summer, the busiest summer months. But during winter, winter and spring, it has remained quite consistent.
And as we say, if you're bringing in £1 million, you spend £1.5 million to get it, you're not making money. No matter what your income is, if you spend twice as much, you're losing money.
Obviously, myself and another member of the public do look at the accounts and know how much we were spending on food, etc. So what we're like saying is, because that we're not having as much wastage as what we were having before, and it would appear that it is quite busy down at the water park due to this good weather, that revenue will be coming in, and because we haven't got those overheads, then obviously money will be coming back into.
That's basically the gist of what we. I'm going to just say, so regarding the boathouse cafe, the reviews we're getting are brilliant, and I have seen evidence of staff keeping a tight grip on what's going out, going as in food, you know, smaller menu for a start, it's a lot simpler, it's less stock, all that sort of stuff.
You're actually getting more positive reviews on social media about what is happening down there.
Yeah.
So all I can say is, you know, thank you to you all.
It's not us, it's the staff. It's the staff.
But you can obviously pass that
I
on
will
to
do.
the staff.
Yeah, I've just given some feedback today because I had 15 people down there over the last 2 days, and
Training on your work today.
Sorry?
Make it clear why you was down there.
I was working.
Yeah, you was at work.
I was working, I was delivering training. But I've had 15 people down there, and absolutely all the feedback was really enjoyed the meals, you know, friendly staff, but all of them. And they had a variety of food, the jacket potatoes, sandwiches, cold sandwiches, hot sandwiches, salads, and they are loving the cake down there, and my staff. So.
And also the chap that's doing the bouncy.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is, you know, people are really.
You can just see it on Facebook.
Yeah, I mean the park's looking good for me as well. As I said last week, I can't forget now. At the town meeting, the roster report that we got, the gentleman who did it report is one who we've had for years, and he says that's the best he's ever seen that facility. Obviously there was a few a few things to resolve, but there was nothing major. It was all minors, and you know I think we really do need to give thanks to the staff who were literally.
And I'd just like to say, on behalf of councillors, they're doing a great job down there, they're working their socks off, and they're taking a negative and they're turning it into a positive.
Yeah.
Can I just also say, all staff, so these staff up here who go down there, that sort of stuff, do lots of work, and up at Sandygate everywhere.
I also thank the councillors that have been going down to help with the events and stuff, and being what brought people in as well, because we've had some councillors helping. So thank you to those.
And this is what I was trying to say last week. I know there's still issues, we know there's still things we can improve on. There always is, and we do know this. However, I do feel we have moved on leaps and bounds in this last 12 months. I think there's been a lot of work done, and I think everything's looking better. Still can improve, the things to improve on, and we're aware of that, and we'll work towards that. But generally, we think it's coming along.
It actually looks alive, does the park now? It looks alive.
We've got people from miles away messaging me saying how fantastic.
Let's forget your name and use the next.
First of all, Sean, congratulations, mate, and I admire you for what you've done as regarding, you know, not taking your fee. It's time that all these other councillors who are just trying to put problems in road work together with you. Because our council is a good council if it works together.
So as I says, I've offered out that olive branch yet again.
Well done, Sean, you're doing a great job.
Again, it's the staff who do the majority of the work, not myself. Any other questions? No? Right, thank you everybody for your time, thank you very much.